Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, you have some catching up to do. So stop this video, go back and find my first video because it will help everything that I'm saying in this video make sense. Thanks. So anyways, let's get into it. So basically, I wanted this video to be about what I'm doing now after undergraduate and kind of like a life update, you know. So basically, once I finished undergrad, even during that whole process, I didn't really have any intentions of going to graduate school. It was literally the furthest thing from my mind. But when I really dug deep into what I wanted to do with my career and those last few years that I was working in more of a private childcare setting, it really stuck to me, like, you know, I'd really love to teach as a licensed teacher, like in a school, like a public school or maybe even a private elementary school. It was a big dream for me, you know, to be like a kindergarten teacher and stuff like that. But for a long time I was like, I don't know if I can do it, because when I would look up the requirements, I would be like, oh, that's a lot. But I was like, you know what, I should just go for it. And with me wanting to go for it, that meant I would have to go to graduate school. And the biggest reason is because in order to be a licensed teacher, you have to be attached to a teacher preparation program. Now, the program that I was in for undergrad did not have a teacher preparation program attached to it. So because of that, I had to consider graduate school so that I could get the teacher preparation. And also there's an endorsement that you have to get while you're in school in order to get your license. So first thing that I did was start looking into schools that had the program that I'm looking for, which I would suggest anybody to do if you're going to consider going to graduate school. Also, before you even consider going to graduate school, you might want to consider if you can afford it, because all those grants and all that stuff, you don't get that in graduate school. You have to either take loans out, or if they have special scholarships and you're going to do the research, then you can look into that and you might be eligible for something like that. But more than likely, you're going to be paying out of pocket. So you want to make sure that you getting your master's degree is something that's completely necessary, something that you really need for your career. And for a lot of these jobs and the markets and stuff out there, they require you to have a master's degree. Like, that's pretty much like a minimum these days in a lot of these jobs. So I think that it could be a good investment for your future. Anyways, so I started looking at schools, and because I've spent 10 plus years in early education and I want to be a kindergarten teacher, then I need an early childhood K to second type of program, right? So here I am, I'm looking at different programs, all that good stuff, and a school that I was already maybe considering for undergrad years ago popped up. I looked at their programs and I looked at the costs, and I looked at, can I do this online? Do I have to do it in person? And so what it really all came down to, I was actually looking at two schools. One school, it was just kind of like a hassle. Like, I had gotten my recommendations and the paperwork and all that stuff, but for whatever reason, they wanted me to have like my state testing in, and I was like, I haven't even like gotten to that point yet. Like, please. I was like, I'm not doing all that. And then it came down to the other school, and the requirements of the other school was like, of course, I had to be done with undergrad. I had to have my statement done, and I had to have like 2 or 3 recommendation letters, which I already had. So I was able to send all that in, and I got accepted into the school, into the program, which was really exciting. The only challenge to that was that this was not an online program. Like, I couldn't do it online. I had to go in person, which is fine because in graduate school, more than likely your classes are like in the evening. So because I was already transitioning into like a new job where I would be working in an elementary school part-time, everything seemed to work out. So what I would say is, like, when you're planning for like something like going to graduate school and you know you still want to work, you kind of have to balance your hours in the day. Like if you're going to be taking classes in the nighttime, then you might want to like work during the day, and ideally have 1 to 2 hours in between before you have to go to class and stuff like that, because that's going to really help you be more prepared and just mentally get yourself in the right headspace for like class and all that type of good stuff. So for my particular program, I have to complete 4 semesters. I'm part-time, so I'm only taking about 2 classes at a time. So I will be taking courses this summer in order to keep myself on track. In addition to taking these courses, I have to take 4 state exams, which the school has workshops for that are free for students. So that's good to know. And then in addition to that, once I have to do a year-long practicum. So basically, I have to do a whole year-long student teaching to complete my program, and that's going to be happening fall of 21. Basically, that's crazy. Like before you know it, that's going to be here. What I can say about graduate school so far, because I'm going to be going into like my 3rd semester, is I really like it. I feel like I'm really getting into the meat of things. I'm learning new, fresh, and exciting information that I feel like is going to help me be the best teacher that I can be. And the thing that I really like about the school and even the program is that the professors that are teaching my courses are mostly still in the field. So they're still teaching themselves, and they can share those experiences of being in the classroom and being with students. And it's like, it's so relatable. Like even though I'm coming from somewhat of a different background, maybe I was working with preschoolers or even like kindergarten prep students, you know, there's still so many things that are relatable when it comes to like kindergarten and 1st grade. So it's just been really exciting to be a part of this program, and I've met some really great people that are a part of the same cohort as me. So we have a lot of classes together, and we can really like lean on each other for certain things and share information and ideas. And I think that's something that I really enjoy about my program. The one thing I'm not looking forward to though is taking those exams. I'm not a test person. Some people are like, oh, whatever, it's a test, I can do it, blah, blah, blah. Me, I don't like tests. Even if I know the answers, if I'm already like in my head nervous and whatever, like I can end up making all these little mistakes, and I don't have time to make mistakes on these state tests because they cost money, honey, okay? Just one of the tests is like $100 and something, okay? They're either between like $75 and like $112 each, and I have to take 4. So when you don't pass it and then you have to take it again, that's just an extra expense. And like a part of me, you know, has been thinking like, if I don't pass this, I'm not going through all this. But deep down inside, it's like I don't have a choice because this is what I want to do. So I guess I just have to buckle down. I'm gonna study hard, do what I have to do to pass these exams, because it's just what I have to do. And I have to take 4 of them. And you know, these exams are almost like kind of like taking the SATs. There's information that you know, and then there's information that you don't know, because they just put it in the tests. I don't know why they do that. And it's almost like they try to give you these like trick questions. It's really weird, okay? But with these state tests, they don't play, okay? You go to the testing site, you know, you're not sitting next to anyone, you can't have anything on you. It's strict, because I mean, at the end of the day, these are people that are going to go out into the world and teach your children in a public school setting. So you want them to be able to pass these exams and know their stuff and know their information. So that, I will say, is very important. So the best thing I could do for myself is just be prepared and study. So that's basically what's going on with me. I'm getting ready to start my summer term, which starts in June, so in a couple weeks, into June actually. and I'm going to be taking 2 courses this summer, and they're kind of spread out. They're not like, I won't be taking both of them at the same time. Like one will start and then I'll pretty much finish that one and then start the second course. And unfortunately it's online because of everything that's already happening in the world, which is, in my mind, I'm like, that's fine. I've taken online courses a lot in the past, so I'm fine with taking online courses, and it definitely allows for things to be a lot more flexible. In addition to that, what I will say is, if you're someone who's also in school right now, then you already know what it feels like to have to go from being on campus to your program or courses switching to online. Or if you're already online, then you're good, you're Gucci. So it's definitely a transition for people, I would say, that haven't taken all their classes on campus. You know, sometimes taking courses online are not easy. Sometimes the requirements are a lot different, and people just maybe work better in the classroom. What I will say is, it's interesting for me because my program traditionally is not an online program. So us having to take these courses online is interesting. I think the school is definitely going to have to consider the fact that maybe some people are not going to want to come back to campus after all this. Maybe some people are going to want the option to take some of these courses online. And so I think that's something that all schools are going to have to consider. Obviously, there's certain courses that you can't take completely online, like certain science courses and lab courses and stuff like that, but any other type of course that doesn't require like certain in-person stuff could definitely be taken online. So they need to stop playing. Anyways, so that's pretty much what I have going on right now. I don't have much left to do, but I have to pass all these exams before I can start my year-long practicum. Like, that's the catch-22. Like, I have to have those exams passed and completed before I can start my year-long practicum. And so just thinking about that, I can see how that could put someone behind in their program. But to be honest, I'm not worried about it. Like, if I have to graduate a semester behind, then I'm gonna graduate a semester behind. I don't feel like there's a timeline or a time crunch like it was before, when I was like, I need to be done with undergrad. Like, I've already spent so many years trying to figure this out, trying to complete this. Like, when it was getting to the point where I was closer to being done, I was ready to be done. Like, and my suggestion to people who are really trying to finish school and get things done, just try to be as organized as you can. Like, for example, I keep a whole sheet of the courses that I need to take, and I'm checking off the courses that I've already taken. Like, and I'm in constant contact with my advisor and things like that. You have to stay on top of that and make sure that you're actually taking the courses that you need. That's important, because you don't want to waste credits. You don't want to waste money taking courses that you don't even need. Make sure you're only taking courses that you need for your program. Now, if you end up, maybe you transfer a course or you waive a course or something, then you have to replace that course with another course. Then maybe you might have to add an elective. That makes perfect sense. Do what you have to do to get all the credits that you need so that you can graduate in your program. Thank you guys for watching my video. I'll be back with another one soon. If you have questions, comments, or anything you want to add or whatever, comment below. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.